Topic of today is how to become an AI-powered human-centric company. First, a little bit about myself. My name is Dennis Akkerman. I've been living in Malaysia for 10 years, originally from the Netherlands, and I have 20 years of international digital leadership experience, including responsibility for a $3 billion e-commerce platform. I'm also the founder and director of Orbis Business School, and we specialize in transformational leadership. Okay, first, let's imagine for a moment we are standing on a cliff. How does that feel? And where do we look? When we look down, we will be scared as hell that we will fall down into the depths. But when we look straight ahead of us, we see a vast space. And some people are not even aware that they are standing on a cliff. Now, this is the analogy I would like to put forward when we talk about an AI-powered economy, because it can be both a threat and an opportunity. And leaders have to be aware that this is a turning point in history where the AI revolution is going to affect all of us, including your business. So, what is your position when you are standing on this cliff? Do you see all the opportunities if you look at your horizon? Or do you have a high risk to fall off this cliff? That is my question, and that is also what I'm trying to answer in this session. And in my consulting practice, I figured out that most digital transformation, AI is part of digital transformation, go wrong. And why is that? 70%, in fact, of digital transformation never deliver the intended outcome. From my consulting practice, I found out there are three main reasons why it is so challenging to become an AI-powered company. The three reasons for failure are a lack of strategy, wrong mindset, and lack of skills. Right now, I'm going to present to you these three factors and how we can solve this. First of all, the golden triangle of digital balances these three factors. If one of the factors goes wrong, that means all other factors will be affected somehow. So if there's no strategy, there's no point in focusing on mindset and culture aspects. If you have the right strategy, but you can't find the right people to work with you, etc., etc. So this golden triangle is balanced for a reason. All these three factors must be successful. Now, when it comes to strategy, what is the challenge in digital transformation when it comes to strategy? Well, first and foremost, there's a dynamic in the economy that it is very hard to define a strategy for 3 or 5 years down the road. It's moving so fast that it's a challenge to say, hey, this is where we want to be. On the other hand, the dynamics of the daily operations are changing every day. That means we need to have a very flexible approach to the execution part of things. Now, how do we define then a strategy? Well, it is good to have a strategy because without a strategy, you're literally getting nowhere. And as a business owner, a leader, we need to be able to find a right strategy, what AI can do for your business. Now, let's learn from Jeff Bezos from Amazon, how he defined a strategy in digital transformation in an ever-changing economy. Well, his idea was, let's focus on the eternal truths. What are the two factors for our business, Amazon, that will still hold true in 10, 20, or 30 years down the road? The way we get there can be flexible. In fact, Amazon is applying changes every 7 seconds. That's the speed of change we're talking at, right? So what he looked at and said, okay, how can I define a strategy in the digital world is, first of all, for Amazon, it's price. Nobody will go to Jeff and ask him, hey, 5, 10 years from now, Jeff, great products, but can you please increase the price a bit? Nobody will do that. So the price reduction is something that's an eternal truth for his business. The second one is speed of delivery. Nobody will ask Jeff in 5 or 10 years from now, hey, Jeff, great products that you're delivering, but can you please deliver it a little bit slower next week or next month? So the eternal truths for Amazon are price and speed. And all the other activities they do on a daily basis are anchored to these two. Another one is customer satisfaction. That is derived from these two elements as well. So what are the eternal truths for your business? That is the question I want to ask yourself. They might be price and speed, but they might be totally different. All right. Let me give you an example. If you're an airline, for instance, safety would be an eternal truth, and transporting people from A to B. Whether AI can fly the airplane by themselves, or maybe we go via space from one place to another place in the world, that is how you execute it. But eternal truth for an airline is it has to be safe, and you need to bring people from A to B. That will be forever the same, regardless of what digital revolution we're looking into, all right? So what are some practical tips to derive at a strategy that works for your company when it comes to AI? Number one is business first. For me, digital is a means to an end. It's not a goal in itself. So we need to look at our business. We even need to reimagine our business models and see how AI can play a part of it. So sometimes customers come to me and say, hey, let's do AI. But why are you doing it? What are you trying to achieve? And first and foremost, your data should be up to date. And from there, you should capitalize on your data model. So AI is typically not the first aspect of digital transformation that companies need to look into. So you really need to look at your business drivers, start with eternal truths and derive from there, hey, how can digital revolutionize our business or come up with entirely new business models? The second tip is zoom out and zoom in. The bigger picture, of course, is very important. The Jeff Bezos Amazon example with the two eternal truths, that's when you zoom out. Yeah, you take a holistic perspective and helicopter view of your business. The other aspect is zoom in. We need to focus on the details. What are our quick wins? What are the operational benefits that we can achieve? So that is number two. And number three is, of course, and this is also where I see a big gap in many companies, is we need to have C-level top management awareness and buy-in to all these initiatives. If you're an individual department, usually a technology department, and you drive all the implementations from that angle, and the top management has no idea, no clue of what it's actually trying to achieve, you will never reach your business objectives. And there's a huge knowledge gap right now between boardrooms and the operational departments when it comes to technology. The boardrooms kind of know, everybody's talking about it, we need to do something about AI and digital, but what does it really mean for their business is really too technical often and too complicated for them to comprehend. So we need to be able to explain this in clear language. What are the business benefits? What are the strategic objectives that you try to solve by implementing AI? This is a really big factor of failure in digital transformation. The second one is mindsets. A digital mindset requires a new culture, a new way of working in an organization. Like I mentioned, the Amazon example, every 7 seconds a change. I come from a corporate background where we did one business update every quarter. Now, this is the speed of change that we need to foster within the organization. How do we organize ourselves? Now, first and foremost, it requires a relentless customer focus. And I would say the more AI we get, the more important the human factor becomes. If our algorithms are wrong, if we don't know what is the output, then you will even upset the customer, or you will lose customers. So customer focus is key, and it needs to be in an end-to-end approach. Of course, obviously, sales and marketing are very close to the customers, but how about all the other departments? You need to have an integrated approach to data and to the digital transformation as a whole. So that's number one for mindset. Number two, we need to become a data-driven organization. Data is the new gold. So how can we harness that power that we already have? We have a lot more data in the organization that we are not even utilizing today. So in order for AI to be successful, you have to become data-driven. That is not only for technical people. They provide the data, but business people need to understand what they can do with the data, how they can utilize this data. They need to understand the data themselves first before you let AI do the job for you, right? And the third one is continuous innovation. So the speed of change every 7 seconds an improvement, that's the incremental innovation that we're looking at. So yes, we have a long-term view for the next 3 5 whatever years. But on a daily basis, we are continuously innovating. If you fail to implement that in your organization, and I see that's happening a lot where we have silos, we take 5 months to even get a proposal approved, to even start a project. In the digital world, you're up. That's very obvious. So continuous innovation requires everyone. It's not only R&D, it's not only the technology department. It requires everyone to become innovative. AI itself will not innovate your company. It is how you deal with the technology. Right? So that's about the mindset. That's a cultural change, often overlooked. Often it's focusing on implementing technology. But if we don't organize ourselves around this technology, then every digital transformation will fail. Right? What are some practical tips in a leadership perspective for organizational cultural change? Well, first of all is, when we talk about this cliff, we can be very anxious about falling down. And this fear is real among employees. Will my job be taken over by AI, ChatGPT, and so forth? So what is very important for us as leaders to do is we create opportunities, we create new perspective, because actually AI is not there to make people redundant. It is there to enhance the value that you are creating as employees. So the mundane routine tasks will be replaced by AI, and that's happening a lot already. We see that in the banking, we see that in high-income countries, that a lot of routine admin tasks are being automated. But it also free up time for more employees to do more value-added work. That's one. Number 2 is also the rules of the game, the code of conduct. I'm a strong advocate of ethical AI. Ethical AI can be used as a weapon, and it can be used to create a lot of great things for mankind. So what is our code of conduct? Now, I see governments working on legislation in different parts of the world right now, but also as a business, what is our view on AI? How are we going to use that? Do we respect the privacy? Do we respect the ethical side of things? How do we avoid bias in our algorithms? That's a very important aspect as well. As leaders, we need to have a view on that. I'm not going to tell you how you should implement it. That is up to you, but it's very closely related to your ESG, CSR, and overall values of your company. The third one is about innovation. Create a culture of experimentation. If you have a fear-based company culture where every mistake leads to dismissal, I'm exaggerating a little bit, that will not lead to an innovative company. So it is okay to make mistakes within certain boundaries, of course. And this incremental approach actually helps you to reduce the risk of failures. If you have an update every week, or you try something new on a weekly basis, the maximum you have lost is 1 week of work and a limited amount of money. So rather than going for big projects, multi-million, the failure is much bigger, right? So incremental innovation is actually a low-risk approach. You just try. If it doesn't work, you change course and you optimize. This is also how startups work. So entrepreneurship is also an important aspect of the mindset within digital organizations. So that are the 3 tips for mindset. Then when we organize this, so we have a strategy, we have a view of where we want to be, we have organized ourselves. The next crucial aspect is, of course, skill set. And I believe everyone in an organization should have AI skills to some extent, even the management. As I mentioned in the first part, AI strategy. What is our view where the world is heading, and what is our place in this as a business? How is our business model sustainable in the near future, or will we be redundant and obsolete? Are we standing on this cliff and we are falling off before we know it? So as a management, we need to have an opinion about this. We need to have a vision. So if you don't know anything about AI, and of course, I don't say that management should learn how to program algorithms. That is too technical and too detailed. But this vision about AI is a crucial aspect to the business. If you don't talk about AI, if you don't consider AI, you are in a very high-risk situation. The number 2 is also related to what's in it for us. So don't implement AI just for the sake of it or because everybody is looking into this. You need to know exactly what it means for you as business. And the leadership style, that's number 3, is also closely related to the mindsets. If your leadership style is top-down and leading by fear, you will not create this innovative AI culture. So the human factor is also have an honest look at your leadership style. is that suitable to create an organization of innovation? The employees, all the employees, not only in the IT department, technology department, or marketing department, AI affects us all. And as I mentioned, mundane routine tasks will be replaced by robots sooner rather than later. So what do we need to organize as leaders here? We need to enable employees to reskill themselves and upskill themselves, invest in training and development, and create new perspectives. The job description changes tremendously. Jobs that did not exist 5 years ago will emerge. Other jobs that we took for granted for decades will disappear. So how does that impact the workforce? Create new perspectives so that you take the fear and uncertainty out of people that say, hey, we are ready for this and we have great new opportunities for you as an employee to work in this new environment. And we need to train all of our employees' basic AI skill. Again, I'm not advocating for making it highly technical, but everybody should have at least a basic understanding. And AI is much more than ChatGPT. ChatGPT made AI famous, but AI is much more to that. So how can you make sure that all your employees at least have a grasp of it? I would say learn by doing, expose, try out new things, etc. Right? Now, last but not least, historically, they are mostly involved with technology aspects, as of course the IT or the digital or the technology department. There we need to find AI specialists. And we see here a global competition for talent, the war for talent. So that's also related to number 2 here. Why do I want to work here? Yeah, we need to convince the talents to work for you. That's the part of the bargain that we have as an employer, is that we need to have an attractive employer brand for these specialists, because you are competing with the likes of Google, Amazon, Facebook, for technical talents. So what's in this game for them that they want to work for you? That's a very important question to answer from an HR and employer branding perspective. And last but not least, the T-shaped skill set. What do I mean with the T-shaped skill sets? Well, if you consider the vertical line as your specialization, for instance, you are an AI expert in Python programming, okay? That's your specialism. Of course, you need to have a deep knowledge about that. The horizontal line is your generalist business skills. So IT people need to get out of their comfort zone, out of their silo, and develop a business acumen. They need to be able to talk to finance people, to marketing people, HR people, top management, and really explain in simple language, plain language, what they are doing and what opportunities they see from a technology perspective. So there's a huge gap between the technical people in speaking their language and the rest of the business. So how can we bridge that? Is that they need to learn to understand each other. So that's what I call a T-shaped skill set. We need to develop generalist business skills among the technical people. So that is aspect number 3. Some practical tips here. As I mentioned before, invest in training and development is key. Number 2 is become attractive for AI talents. Why do they want to work for you, as I mentioned? And number 3 is also an integrated HR approach, where all employees and all departments get exposure to digital transformation. You cannot leave that to one department alone. All right. So in conclusion, to be successful in AI, the human factor is actually more important than the technology. Number 1 is strategy. What is your vision on AI? How can you develop a successful business that will not fall off that cliff? Number 2 is, how do you organize yourself? How do you change a culture, a winning culture that thrives on innovation, uncertainty, rather than seeing that as a threat? Number 3, can we attract the right people, and can we retain the right people to work with you on this journey? These are the 3 success factors to become an AI-powered and human-centric company that will last you for a few more decades in this world. Thank you so much. I hope it was useful, and look forward to talk about this topic more in another time.